I've got a football superstar here with me, and also you know this story. Played for the NFL, convicted for murder, then committed suicide. Aaron Hernandez had made headlines, several headlines for years with all these cases, of course with his plays, and then when the story ends with his suicide in prison. But it actually doesn't end there. It continues because the medical tests show that he had a severe case of CTE. It's chronic traumatic encephalopathy. The disease is believed to stem from repeated hits to the head, which we know does happen in football. So we're talking about some symptoms that are similar to those of another brain disease, which is Alzheimer's, that can include memory loss, confusion, aggression, rage. So I actually have former pro kicker Nick Lowery here. You played for the New England Patriots, I think, right?
I did, very briefly.
And Kansas City Chiefs as
yes.
well. So you've been with the players, you see what goes on,
yes.
what we don't see, right? We tune in Sundays for football, but you see what goes into it, what goes behind it, you know, day in, day out. And what have you noticed that you think contributes to, you know, the CTEs and the concussions we've been talking about lately?
Well, Lena, there are now, thankfully, a lot more examples and research to show that the practice hits, which North Carolina in a study 12 years ago found, lead to the same cumulative outcome of CTE. So a few months ago, I was on Channel 3 with Scott Passmore talking about the robotic tackling dummy that could end teammate-on-teammate tackling, and we'll have a high school right here in Arizona in Sahuarita School District have one. But the other thing is a cellular helmet vitamin that parents will be able to give their kids, which will essentially allow those children to have CBDs in their brain, which UCLA and Stanford in the last 2 years have both found make the cells in the brain much more resilient. So they cut traumatic brain injuries 5 times, or 80% less traumatic brain injuries from traffic accidents.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and also too, I mean, whether or not, you know, some people have likened, all right, what's happening with, or what happened with Aaron Hernandez is related to concussions. Whether you subscribe to that or not, surely I think people would agree, let's have it, have fewer hits would be a good thing.
Yes.
Right. So you were talking about during practice, because you guys are practicing all day, every day.
Right.
So you're saying that if we make changes to practice, that could have an effect.
Practice makes a huge difference, and Kannalife Sciences is doing the research. It has the only government license for the patent, the government patent, to research the application of something everybody's scared of, cannabis, which actually is hemp, in this case, CBDs with very low THC. I worked in the White House Drug Abuse Policy Office actually way back in '88 when you probably weren't even born, looking at THC. Well, actually, there are 140 cannabinoids that really help the brain become more resilient. So Kannalife Sciences is hopefully going to work with the NFL to create this product which all soccer mom and football mom and dads can give their kids to have more confidence their kids won't have concussions or the long-term effects of these head hits.
Let me ask you, just because you have played, you have a background, obviously, you know, you didn't just start playing one day and get in the NFL. What would you tell parents who have their kids playing football? Because obviously you believe in football, you don't want that to end, you don't want big changes there, but what would you like parents to know? Well,
I would say this is really important. This is the end of the era of the prohibition of cannabis. I would say that number one is that we make sure that kids don't do tackling till they're probably in 8th grade or even high school. That's the first thing. The second thing is demand, as a parent-teacher association, that your high school, and even before that, have these mobile virtual player blocking and tackling dummies so your kids don't have to tackle each other. That reduces concussions 60%, and our friend Scott Passmore was tackling one of those a few months ago.
Significant.
And the third thing is to take these cellular helmet vitamins that we're going to be developing with the government license, so that anybody that says that CBDs are not approved by the government, just research CBDs, and Kannalife Sciences is devoted to being bringing in this new generation of safer kids in sports, not just football.
Which is all you want. Of course, continue the sports, but you want it safe.
And so when you have your kids, you'll feel better as a parent knowing they're safer because you've given them their vitamins and their brain literally is able to withstand those hits and make sure their brain is healthy for a lifetime.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for getting up early with us, too.